That is your current balance, not your actual savings. Just your balance. You look at it at 11:43 p.m., resting on a used mattress you purchased from a stranger on Facebook Marketplace. You look at it once more at 11:44. The figure remains the same. You carry $31,000 in student debt, owe $4,200 on a credit card, and expect a direct deposit this Friday that is already entirely spoken for. You are 23 years of age. You aren't lagging behind. You convince yourself you aren't lagging behind. However, every trip to the supermarket involves math. You return the olive oil to the shelf. You purchase the generic brand. You share a streaming account with a person you don't even really like anymore, simply because ending the subscription feels like slipping backwards. This is the sensation of absolute zero. It isn't theatrical or movie-like, merely a quiet, continuous buzz of calculations happening beneath your every action. You never discuss finances. No one at this stage does, yet everyone is constantly running the same numbers. You stare at your banking app more frequently than your text messages. You have memorized your account number. You transfer $200 into savings, only to transfer it right back 3 days later. At this stage, wealth isn't an instrument. Wealth is oxygen. You either possess a sufficient amount or you are already struggling to breathe. Rule number 1. When you are at zero, your connection to money is completely emotional, and choices driven by emotion snowball negatively. You receive a pay increase, a modest one, $6,000 annually pre-tax. It translates to an additional $387 each month. You feel wealthy for roughly a single afternoon. Then your vehicle requires $900 for new brake pads and rotors. You discover that your costs grow to fill any financial room you create for them. You clear your smallest credit card debt of $1,200. You take a screenshot of that zero balance. You share it with no one, since no one else would comprehend the significance of that image to you. Yet it means the world, because for the very first time, a digit shifted favorably as a direct result of a choice you executed. That is the starting point. You surpass $10,000 in your savings account for the initial time. You are 26 years old. You have never held a 5-figure sum before. Never. You monitor the account relentlessly during the first week. This time, it isn't due to worry. It's out of sheer amazement. You make no moves with it. You simply allow it to rest there. The mental impact of possessing $10,000 when you have never experienced it heavily outweighs the actual sum. You experience the sensation of entering a new class of society. You really haven't. However, it feels that way. You begin to read, not motivational or self-improvement material, but real literature regarding the flow of capital. You discover the concept of an index fund. You establish an investment account and gaze at it for 3 weeks prior to depositing a single dollar. You put in $1,500. The stock market drops the following day. You are tempted to withdraw the funds. You refrain. This is the exact instance you determine if panic controls your choices or if you are in charge. The transition. You cease viewing wealth merely as security and begin regarding it as data. You are earning $68,000 annually. Currently, you have accumulated $40,000 in savings. You possess a retirement account that you are genuinely funding. By standard metrics, you feel all right, secure. You are following all the conventional advice, maximizing your 401k contributions, establishing a rainy day fund, dodging the trap of lifestyle creep. You are executing every step. Then you sit down and calculate the honest math for the long term. You enter the forecasts into a spreadsheet late at night, observing what 4 decades of strict saving on your present salary will yield, and a feeling changes within you. Because the final figure isn't what you anticipated. It is acceptable, it is adequate, but it is not what you desire. This represents the plateau of capability. You excel at staying afloat. You are not yet skilled at true wealth creation. Rule number 2. A regular paycheck is a limit disguised as a foundation. As soon as you perceive this reality, you can never ignore it again. You launch a side venture. You refrain from labeling it a company. It is simply an activity you pursue on weekends, yielding $400 monthly, which grows to $900, and later $1,700. You keep it a secret from your boss. You hide it from the majority of people. You pour every penny of profit back into the project for 14 months. You consume the identical meals. You You avoid upgrading your lifestyle. Your total net worth surpasses $80,000. Following that, $110,000. You begin to sense the distance between your current position and where a mere salary would have left you. That distance is where true leverage exists. Your portfolio generates $3,800 in 1 year with zero effort on your part. You experience months when your supplementary revenue exceeds your primary wages. You finally understand what an asset truly is, beyond just theory. Tangibly, it is an entity you created that generates income while you rest. Your perception of time transforms. You begin to evaluate hours in a new way. Any hour dedicated to a task that lacks compounding growth is an hour your economic engine remains idle.
You exceed a net worth of $150,000 at age 32. You own a real estate property containing $44,000 in equity, an investment portfolio valued at $61,000, and an enterprise producing $6,200 monthly. You continue to drive your old vehicle. You maintain absolute silence about all of these achievements. You have observed that discussing finances at this tier causes individuals to act weirdly, becoming either jealous or belittling. Neither reaction is helpful. You begin declining invitations that were previously guaranteed acceptances, an overseas wedding that would require selling assets to attend, a collective vacation where expenses are divided evenly, forcing you to essentially pay for 3 other individuals, a commercial pitch from a buddy who lacks an understanding of cash flow. No, no, and no. You sense the tension building within your friendships. You acknowledge it, remain silent, and still decline. The transition. You quit exhausting funds just to preserve social ties and begin defending your capital to create future choices. Upon reaching $300,000, your wealth begins to develop a distinct character. It displays inclinations. It prefers to flow into specific areas and pushes back against others. You experienced a single investment yield $22,000 over 8 months. You watched another drop by $9,400. You refuse to freak out over the decline. This isn't because $9,400 doesn't matter to you. It certainly does, but because you recognize that this is simply the price of admission to the arena. You refuse to retreat. Instead, you pivot. This is the misconception held by those at the bottom. Individuals at the pinnacle comprehend it differently. They don't believe success involves dodging danger entirely. It does not. It involves selecting which dangers are acceptable to tolerate. Rule number 3. Under $500,000, you are actively purchasing assets. Once past that mark, your assets begin acquiring one another. You are nearing the goal. You can sense it in the same manner you sense the atmosphere of a room prior to entering. $670,000, then $810,000. You have reorganized your company 2 times, introduced a co-owner, cashed out of a specific investment, and funneled those profits into a larger opportunity. You are 36 years old. Your total wealth stands at $920,000. You no longer sleep as peacefully as before. This isn't due to anxiety, but rather sheer drive. You constantly analyze various outcomes while showering. You dispatch emails at 5:30 a.m. to contacts residing in alternate time zones. You reject an employment proposition offering a $210,000 annual wage. Your family is confused by this. You avoid giving them a complete explanation. You simply state that the opportunity felt incorrect, which is only somewhat accurate. Then the moment arrives. On a random Tuesday, lacking any grand celebration, your investment account refreshes and the figure displays $1,040,000. You pause to absorb it briefly. You expected to experience a profound transformation. You assumed a major feeling would wash over you. Instead, there is merely a silent contentment, followed almost instantly by the realization that it is insufficient. Not out of greed, but from a logical, pragmatic perspective. $1 million yielding a 4% annual return equals $40,000 per year, and that simply is not.